is Comedy Crash Landing. Now, since we started the show, I've been getting recognized a lot out in the streets. And the number one question that people always ask me is, dude, did you just fill up your adult diaper or what? But mostly, that's called bombing. That's called a joke that didn't work. And no, the question I get asked the most is, why is it called Comedy Crash Landing? Well, there's sort of a violent imagery that goes along with comedy. Like if a comedian does real well, he killed or they bomb. And so I like the violent imagery part of it. And then also the it's a place to crash. It's, you know, these comedians we have on here, they're like rocket ships. They're going 100 miles an hour off to fame and fortune. We just want them to crash here and be themselves for a little while. So that's the concept of the show in a nutshell. And we have a new set today. We're trying out something new. We're going couch with the couch. So XYZ, everybody. Make sure you're not showing more than you should. It is public access. And with me, as always, is Hurricane Matthew Ravenscroft.
Hey, thank you for having me, Douglas.
Are you going to rock us like a hurricane tonight?
I hope not.
I like these timeless references. This show will be shown for months.
Forever. It's never going to get old.
And it's ironic that you're named after a hurricane because you're always the sunshine in my life, Matt. So it's really very ironic.
Thank you. That's very sweet.
You guys want some time alone, or?
This is the warm-up bit.
Yeah.
This is the pre-show. Okay, and then one more thing. There is an internet thing happening between us, Matt, due to the show.
Right.
And people are combining our names. Like
I've heard about it.
Have you heard about this?
Yeah.
Did you hear what they were?
They're calling you Doug Thew.
Doug Thew.
Yeah, and they're calling me Matt Thug.
Matt Thug. Matt Thug
it's
Life.
gone up over everywhere. Yeah.
Doug Thew sounds more like something you do the morning after into the toilet. Like you do that from every orifice, Doug Thewing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Matt Thug is cool.
Yeah, of course.
So
Definitely got the
cool
better end of that portmanteau. Yeah.
Okay, and with us today is our special guest, Bill Bushart. Bill Bushart is a legend in this area. Now, I want to tell you, Bill, every show we've done, and we've done, what, hundreds?
Hundreds
dozens?
of shows. Dozens of
Your name
hundreds.
gets brought up because you're really part of the...
They all owe me money,
local
Doug. That's why my name gets brought up.
You know, great guy. There's no better guy. You know, you've helped a lot of people. You've done a lot of mentoring. You have the class.
I have the best words. My words are the best.
You keep crying. You're just an open mic comedian factory.
Yeah. I'm cranking them out, baby.
So how long have you been doing stand-up comedy?
How long? I've been performing for about 20 years now, Doug.
20 years.
From my first open mic till about 3 o'clock this afternoon.
Really?
So it was a lot different. The comedy landscape was a lot different back then.
Yeah, they let the grass grow longer back then. They didn't really... Yeah, there were a lot more clubs back then. There were definitely a lot more places to work, a lot more places to perform, a lot more outlets for comedian, and that has gone by the wayside pretty much in the Detroit area.
Have you always treated it like a full-time job, or did you
you know what? I don't know how I've treated it. It's been something I got into, and had you asked me, do you think you'd be doing this for 20 years and you'll be doing a cable show in Troy on a Monday night, I'd say I don't think I could even dream that.
Well, we're happy to have you.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Are you comedy full-time? Do you...
Yeah, it drives my wife crazy. Always giving her the rubber chicken in the refrigerator. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
And whoa. when you start out, there was no
full-time comic. Yeah, I do as comedy as much as I can. I teach the classes. I promote shows. My whole life is pretty much devoted to just trying to squeeze a buck out of the average show to make them laugh. So
yeah. So you teach comedy.
Yes. I don't teach comedy. Let's back that up.
Okay. So you teach people.
I host a class at the Comedy Castle, and the first lines out of my mouth will be, "I can't teach you to be funny."
Right.
But what I try to do is just get people to organize their thoughts and believe that they can be funny. One of the things you'll find when people start out in comedy is they'll quit immediately. The second there's any type of adversity, you'll see a lot of people just dumping on it. And the people that you see that stay in comedy and have been doing it for a few years and continue to get up and put themselves through the grind, there's something wrong with them.
Sure. And it's not just for comedians, right? Like it helps.
No, it
people.
could be people just with their, maybe somebody just wants to try a one time. Some people just want to get some insight on how comedy works. Some people like the motivation. I'm pretty good at motivating people to write, and I enjoy joke writing and that group session stuff. So
And
that's really public speaking. So that's really what the class is, with an emphasis on comedy. If you're going to be a comedian, you're going to find a way to do that on your own. You don't need to take a class. But if you want some insight, kind of, and some direction, then a class is good.
I remember the class I took. I've had your class, and a lot of people.
I remember you. You're the only person I ever failed. It's amazing. We still talk about it at Thanksgiving all the time. We actually taped your set and we play it sometimes.
As what not to do.
Yes.
Do not be this guy.
Yes.
Please don't.
Actually, I always thought. Go ahead.
Well, and then a couple people, they went to the first class and they didn't show up.
Yeah.
And then there was this one guy. He would just kill in front of the show. Like, he would have the whole class laughing, but he said he had such horrible stage fright.
Yeah, that happens. That happens. Yeah.
You never saw him at the open mics after.
Yeah.
And he was really funny, but you've probably seen a lot of.
That just when you get into this, you're going to do it or you're not. I mean, you're just going to. There is no easy way about it, and what I also find is that when you get involved with this too, what your expectations are out of yourself, what your dreams are. You're going to be a local comic, you're going to be a bar comic, you're going to New York or LA or whatever. But if you continue in this, there's just a level of adversity you're going to have to put up with, and you're just going to have to fight through the negative stuff, because at the end of the day, this is show business, and you're dealing with club owners, and you're dealing with other comedians, and you're dealing with bookers and bar owners, and the scourge of the earth.
And what I always hate to hear is, oh yeah, you got to go for 10 years before you get any good, and that just seems like so much
You
work.
probably 15, 16.
The lucky
It's
one.
a sliding scale.
To figure it out, I'm still figuring it out, to be honest with you. I work. I like going. I like performing, and that's why I do it. It's something fun
To develop your presence.
Yes,
I mean,
I
have
just
you
want to be
changed
better
over-
at it, and just try to learn more and just
So
grow.
the act has changed quite a bit.
Oh no, the act hasn't changed.
Why would it? Why would it? It was
Right,
perfect out of the gate.
I know what makes me. I know what I'm about up there. I go no visions of grandeur. There's no brilliance happening
You know
here.
who
I'm
you
not.
are, bro.
I'm very aware. I'm very aware of
when you're out
myself.
Yeah. So you're comfortable on stage now?
Not in the least. No. Yeah, I am. I would say that sometimes I feel very comfortable, and other times I just get this little voice in the back of my head telling me how bad I am at what I do. So.
Well, I noticed your promo shot is very aggressive. It's the boxing, and you're like the opposite. You're like the nicest guy. But earlier on, we were doing our homework. We watched some earlier tapes, and you said that you would get in fights, or if you picked on a guy
there's been some
too much.
Well, that's just learning.
Yeah.
That's learning and trying to be an insult comic, and then insulting the wrong person who doesn't realize they're at the comedy show, and then you got to walk out to your car by yourself.
Sure. How
Because
often
you
is
learn
that?
in a hurry. That's learning. Pain the great teacher.
Can one of you walk me to my car?
Does that still happen to you? Do you still?
Oh no! Now I carry a gun. No, it doesn't. I mean, it can. I've had some. People. It just depends on the situation, but not very often anymore. But it's happened a few times. Yeah, definitely.
Sure. Well, anytime.
And I'm sure it's happened to a lot of comics. That's nothing new.
Yeah, a lot of drinks and a lot of.
I've seen guys. I've seen comics choke other. Choke. I've seen a customer get choked by comedians before that guy was heckling. I've seen a lot of different things. So you're around us enough. You're just going to see. I've seen people. People are very strange at comedy clubs sometimes. I was doing a show one time, watched somebody just throw up into their glass. Well, look up at me still like I didn't see it happening.
Did he get a laugh?
I got a huge laugh. It's just little things. So people in general, when they go out drinking and you're in a comedy club, one of the things I miss about comedy clubs is the smoking. I wish that would have never stopped. I think it gave it such an atmosphere and such a feel. You stunk like. When you went home, you stunk like cigarettes. But I mean, I really felt like it made it a better experience for people, and it was a place where smokers could be without being ridiculed.
Laundromats miss it too, I think.
Yeah.
Well, do you have a worse gig story? There must have been. I've seen you in a restaurant one time.
Well, what show was I on with you?
We were not. I was not on the show.
Oh, okay. The one I saw. That was the worst gig.
Okay.
No,
It took
Well,
you a
you just
minute on
thought
that
that's a
burn.
standard question. You
Jeez.
just sliced right through it like a ninja. Man.
Worst show. What makes you think I've had a bad one, Doug?
Okay.
I'm your
that's
guest.
Pretty ballsy of me. Make the
I'm
guest
in your
feel
living room
comfortable.
here doing the show with you.
We know you've never
Fridays,
had a horrible show. How about a remarkable show?
Well, that happens all the time.
Okay, all right.
No, you know, it's just after,
unbreakable.
you set your own bar when you do comedy too on what's a good show and what isn't. I mean, after you do well, everything you do after that, you want to be to that level. So that never ends. And then you're always searching. You're always, what is that? Chasing the dragon.
Right. Right.
To bring
You're
heroin
always
into
just trying to
this.
get to that. And you know, the thing too, after you do this for a while, that high you used to get out of telling jokes, and I don't want to ruin it for
It wears
all
it
the
off.
young comedians out there. But that high tends to go away after a while.
Really?
You know,
It's just a job.
I mean, it's there. It can be there, but that comes from doing new things on stage and having in that moment, fun times with the audience. You know, where it's just the show takes on a life of its own, and that's what I like about comedy: is being in the moment, and just each show is its own thing. You know, and sometimes you walk away feeling satisfied, and sometimes you walk away not at all.
Right.
So.
Now, you said that you do a lot of insult, or crowd work.
I would
we'll
say
say.
a lot.
We're not going to say insulting, but like crowd work and stuff like that. Who would you say influenced you in that direction, or do you think you just drifted there on your own?
You know, I think I kind of drifted there on my own with the way I just bring my energy and stuff. But growing up, I was a huge fan of Don Rickles, and I probably didn't even realize that until later on in life. But when I was a kid, you know, I mean, I remember them at church telling us not to watch Don Rickles. Don't watch Don Rickles, and they were upset he was calling people a hockey puck. And you know, it's Catholic school, and this is where we had our head at the time in the 70s.
Sure.
And
Important stuff.
We also were told not to watch the movie 1942, Summer of 42. Remember that one?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big one. Everybody was in
that's what
church and they
invented
said, "Don't
TT,
watch
yeah.
it." So guess what we all did that night?
Yeah.
We all watched Summer of 42. Jennifer O'Neill.
Well, now when you tour,
All right. Wow. That was a reference where I lost it.
Okay.
anyone under 30, yeah, 40.
I lost you.
Now, when you tour, I notice you stay more in the Midwest. Have you
Yes,
ever
Doug. Gas
gone
prices
to
are out of control.
LA, or you never got the urge to go to LA?
I never got the urge. I met a woman, I married her, and then I just stayed put, Doug.
Okay.
Because when the wife's away, I will clean the bathroom like she says.
Because a lot of people do go out there.
A lot of people go out there. You know why, Doug? Because that's where it happens. It doesn't happen here. They're out there trying to be stars. Here, you're on a cable show.
And of course, happy to be here.
And
Right?
I'm happy to be here. Doug, just hold the notes, please. You're driving me crazy.
Doug, no, just keep turning your head. I want to see you. Turn.
It's hurting my neck watching you turn your head. I know how old you are. That can't be easy. You didn't stretch before this started.
Right.
Oh, maybe you should put it
yeah.
back. Is it a distance?
Well, I like how.
Give me this.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I like how people.
Don't ask this one.
My wife works at Costco, and it's funny how people perceive
Whoa!
comedians. Yeah, like you're in comedy, or they think you're a comedian, and you're big time or not. So at her Costco, they all had to buy safety shoes, and some of them couldn't afford it. You know, they're like $100 shoes, and they go, "Well, here, your husband's a comedian. Why don't you just buy me some shoes? That's why you only work here full time." Like I got an HBO special coming out. Like I'm an open mic comedian. People don't really understand the different levels.
Yeah, they really don't. People.
Where do they get these ideas?
So your wife works at Costco? Which one?
Yeah, the one right down the street here at 13 and Stevenson.
I go in there sometimes.
Maybe we can get you a deal.
I hope so. They sell alcohol.
You're looking
at
for a
that
TV,
one.
yeah.
They don't sell it at all at once. They sell it at that one, though, correct?
You don't have to be a member to get the alcohol.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, you just go in there
or
and get it.
pharmacy, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you knew the alcohol in pharmacy. You didn't need to be a member. You having some trouble at home?
I'm in deep now, though. She's Costco. Through and through.
Full time?
No, she only goes part time. She complains when
How
she
about
has to
that
work
chicken,
an 8-hour day.
That's a good chicken.
Yeah, the roast chicken.
It's good chicken.
Bill, you're great.
I'm in Costco I'm in there way too much. I mean, my wife, any
It's just
reason.
you too.
Man,
Why are you buying bulk food?
I mean, she'd like to have a wedding reception in the middle of Costco if she could. She'd go to one. You'd
What
have
do you buy
everything
in
you need right
bulk?
there.
Toilet paper. What do you buy in bulk? It's just the two of you.
Know, if you really need to know, Doug.
Yes, we're probing. I'm not backing down.
I had to get some things for my anal leakage, but thanks for bringing it up.
Which is
That
just
would be
paper
bulk.
towels?
That would be bulk. Definitely in bulk. You don't want to skimp there. You want extras on hand.
So, anyway, comedy, right?
Yes.
So,
Yeah, let's
you know,
get
you,
off the serious stuff.
you do this class primarily at Mark Ridley's, right?
Yes.
And Doug took the class,
Yes.
right? And so, say some lump like Doug comes in, right?
Yes.
Thanks,
And
man.
the first day you
I
see
was getting
him,
enough. Bill wasn't giving me enough.
you know, we're we're just having a
Piling on.
you know, we're
This
just
smells
having a
like piling on.
Yes.
conversation
Let's
here.
go on. Doug the lump.
So Doug, some lump comes in. We'll just say some lump, not Doug.
Okay.
What happens? This occurs over like 8 weeks.
We
Somewhere
get
around there, 2
together
months?
6 times, usually
times?
more than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And during that time, you do sets, or you start with writing
I just try to get them to
exercises
start
and-
thinking of ideas. You know, that's the other thing. Getting started when you see people doing this, they have no idea. They want to do it,
That's true.
but then all of a sudden they don't know they didn't know, and then they're starting to realize they don't know how to do it, and then you start going through that learning process, and then.
So-
all I say is bring some ideas, and then they go up on stage, and we just start talking it out, and that's really how most people do it. You know.
So it's individual by the person, basically.
Yeah, their
So,
stuff.
yeah.
You know, I'll write a joke here or there, but really, it's them, you know, putting on your, you know, it's your fingerprint on what you do. Yeah.
Sure. I get you.
Yeah.
So how did Doug do in a rating from, say, like good to good? Take your time.
The face says it all.
Next question.
Pictures worth 1,000 words.
Doug did great, I think. I think when you did your show at Joey's, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
No, it was at Mark Ridley's, but we did a lot of sets at Joey's.
Yeah. Okay.
A
Yeah.
lot of field
Yeah. But
trips
yeah,
there,
I
we
think you did good. You did good.
Well, thank
You
you,
did
Bill.
good. Did you
Thank
good?
Something.
Yeah. Got a lot of people that I've seen, Doug. I don't have time to remember him. Okay.
Well,
Okay.
at the show, there's
No,
like
but I thought you did well, actually.
A bunch of
He was a
people.
nervous wreck. I know that. That's why I love watching Doug, because it was like, I don't think this guy's going to
still
get through
nervous
this.
That's half of the entertainment.
But at the class show, there's like 30, 40, it's like a huge crowd, and then
Yeah.
you go to the open mic, so you got to keep going. There's
And
5
reality
dudes.
kicks in.
There's 5 guys, that's really
Yeah, you
hard to
burn
get a
through your
laugh.
friends pretty quick, Colin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
We have attended a couple where most of the crowd was other comedians and stuff. So
Joey's was pretty good, too. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
They shut down. That was a nice little venue. You get people that weren't open mic comedians would come there sometimes. It was kind of a draw.
Yeah,
They shut the whole place down, though,
Yeah,
didn't they?
yeah, that was just bad ownership. You'll find that with a lot of other places just shut down. It was just people weren't interested in the business anymore.
Is your nephew still? He was
Yes, my nephew Jack Bushart
right. He's
was
still
into it.
trying
He was
out?
interested in it. He was a high schooler. He now he's doing high school things. You know, he likes it, but you know, not right now. He's like trying to make out with chicks.
Because I remember I followed him one time.
priorities.
I followed him one time.
Hey, Doug, what's going on?
And
Followed him.
at Joey's.
Oh, okay.
And so the place is just packed with Busharts. And so I do a joke that there was like the one joke I do that you wrote the punchline, and everyone groans. And I go, hey, wait a minute, that's Bill's joke.
You
What
delivered.
the hell?
You
Exactly.
screwed
It's
the
all in the
delivery on
delivery.
that.
That's what that proves.
I remember that specifically. I'm like, he ruined that one.
Yeah, Bill may
That
have,
was brilliant.
Like, wait a minute.
What was
may
the
have
joke,
said
do
the
you remember?
exact same joke.
Yeah, well, I do, why are GPS voices always female? Make a U-turn here, make a U-turn here. Because they're that much easier to ignore. I screwed up the joke.
See? Comedy ain't easy.
Why are GPS women voices always women? Because they're that much easier to ignore. Make a U-turn here, make a U-turn here, whatever, bitch. But if it was a German male joke, it was a German male voice, then you much more pay attention to it. You will turn here and you will like it. Next time I put you on train. That was your part, the putting on the train. It was a little dark. A little dark.
Thanks, Bill.
Or next time I'll put you on the train.
I'm not
That's a
taking
little
credit
dark.
for that, and when I give you a spit take, you acknowledge it. That was learned on day 1, first 5 minutes.
Physical comedy, first thing. So that was a Bill-trained comedian.
No. not taking credit for that.
Right out of the factory.
Right out of the factory.
Inspection.
Fresh off the.
We got a recall.
Happened to GM, it happened to Bill.
His blinker stuck. What's your next question?
Oh boy. Let me see. Oh, so are you like good friends with Mark Ridley? You hang out
Oh
with
yeah,
him
we
all
hang
the
out.
time?
I rub
You
his
go in
back.
his
No,
yard?
I mean, I know Mark. I've known him for a while. You know, I don't know. We're acquaintances. Yeah, friends.
You hang out.
Yeah,
you go to his house.
No.
He's got a pretty nice place. Does he come to yours?
I almost feel like I should now. No, he doesn't come to my house either. I've never been to your house either, Doug.
No. You and Joel hang out though. Joel is Fragomeni.
No,
not really.
They burned that bridge.
I know Joel. We're acquaintances. I've been on his podcast several times. So.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
But I like Joel. Joel's a good dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a.
Anybody
great
else
guest.
you want to know if I have relationships with, Doug?
Well,
I did see a picture of you with Dave Attell.
You did not. No,
Did
you
not?
did not.
No?
You did not.
Wrong?
Thanks
Well,
for
you-
bringing that up.
you've worked with on your website it says Greg Giraldo.
Yes,
Greg
before
Giraldo.
when he was alive.
We assume that.
Yeah.
Do you have any? Did you meet with them?
Good one.
Did I meet with him?
Or did you say hi in the hall, or did you hang out a little?
I opened for him. He didn't open for me. I opened for
So
him.
you
He
don't-
was a nice guy. I actually took him around to Ferndale after the show. We
See?
hung out, and this is before he went off the rails.
Yeah.
And it was actually pretty fun. We actually were sitting with Joel and Corey Hall. There's a
So
group
you
of
do
us
hang
at
out with
Cuomo's,
them.
which is having its problems. And we
So-
ordered a pizza, and then
Cracked wise.
and then he started hanging out with those guys, and I went home to my wife because I'm afraid of her.
There you go.
And Gilbert Gottfried.
Yes, I've worked with him too.
I bet there's an
At
interesting story.
DTE, I worked with him. I opened up for Gilbert Gottfried, 2,500 people sitting there in the summertime. I walk out, I don't get a laugh for 20 minutes. I mean, I don't get anything. It was brutal. It was brutal. And I'm walking off stage. He walks out, gets a standing ovation before he says
Really?
a word.
Yeah.
All I was in the way.
Yeah.
So that was a horror story of a show.
There
right
we
there.
go.
I
gotta
come
be
back.
rough
I sit down next to my wife, and she just looks at me and goes, "There'll be other shows." That was the first words out of her mouth. That's how bad I knew I did. Because she's very, very encouraging. So.
The festivals seem like they'd be tough.
I did that Oddball Comedy Festival at the DTE as well. I was on the stage next to the ladies' room.
Really, that's right by the stage.
That's where they have us warm up before the real show happens. So that was fun, though.
Opening's got to be tough almost all the time because people aren't there. They're typically there to see the headliner almost every time, right?
I would say, yeah,
you know?
but that's where you learn your craft. I think emceeing is one of the toughest jobs to do on a show. It really is.
Yeah.
And you got to get them warmed up. You got to go through. You got to take that bullet for everybody. You got to be the host. There's a lot of different moving parts for the MC, and and as an MC or as a comic, you want to make them laugh, even though it's 10, 15-minute set, and they're just sitting down and they just parked their car at the valet. They just ordered their drinks. You got to rally those people and get them. And I used to love to MC. And when I first started in comedy, that's all I ever did. I never thought about moving up. There was all these clubs around there. I was working every weekend at MC. I became very good at MCing. I mean, I could go out there and light a crowd on fire and get them going, So I kind of miss that aspect of things, and I enjoy that. But then your ego takes over, and you're like, well, I want to be the middle guy. And I want to be the guy who closes. I want to make a picture on the flyer. and then 20 years later, you're on a cable show.
Local cable, sir.
Hey, it's 11 cities.
This hits 11 cities.
This is 11 cities?
11
Yeah.
cities.
Okay, Troy, Clarkson,
Rochester.
Royal Oak,
Yes, Royal Oak is included.
Rochester, Utica.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about Utica.
Utica
I'd have to fact check
said-
that. Probably not Utica.
There's a map around here
Not
somewhere.
Warren.
Berlin.
I don't get it at my home.
No.
But you can get it on the old internet.
So you host a show that you can't even pick up at your house?
Yes, that's correct.
So,
That's correct.
That's a different show.
Bullseye.
Isn't it?
It's available. This show
That's
is
correct.
available.
And I'm Doug Billy.
This show's available everywhere. It's on the internet.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
it's
true.
worldwide. We're global.
Oh, yeah.
Actually,
Worldwide.
we're global when you
Yeah.
think about it that way.
Well, okay. What's your next question?
Wow. Well, what about up and coming comics that it started here. Like I remember Matt McClowry.
Yes.
I remember seeing him at Joey's.
Just talked to
open
him
mic.
today, as a matter of fact, yeah.
And he's gone on to festivals and on to bigger things. And
I don't know. Why don't you interview Matt McClowry?
Well,
No, I'm just kidding.
up and
What's
coming
your
comics.
question, Doug?
What up and coming comics?
What up and coming
Yeah.
comics
You
are
know
there
of
in the
from this
area?
area.
Oh man, I mean, I'll tell you, we're loaded with comedians.
Brad
in this
Wenzel
area.
was on just
Brad
on
Wenzel.
Conan.
He's
Did you
a
work-
funny guy. But there's so many comics in the area. I just think that we have a very healthy, very funny comedy scene in the Detroit area. I mean, there's just great talent out there. That just, and when you're in the situation where there's not a lot of places to perform and you don't get the
Right.
get
Well, there are a lot of open mics, but there's really only Mark Ridley is
yeah,
what
and
gets the
then you
national
got Ann
talent.
Arbor, and then but something will come along. I mean, there's other pockets of things in bar shows and whatnot and showcases, but you know, it's just the state of things now. But hopefully it'll work its way out, and we'll see another club open or something.
How do you feel about improv?
Next question.
What about prop?
You ever
comedy?
done it? No?
I've taken some classes at Second City for improv, and
Yeah.
How'd that go? Not your bag?
Well, as you could see, I'm stumped by the improv question. Shows you where I have the good skills with my improv.
And you do not teach prop comedy, I noticed in your class.
I do.
You kind
I
of
don't
steer away from that.
Well, I don't have anything necessarily against it. I just,
You don't have any good props?
I don't have any good props.
Share with people.
And ventriloquist, you're okay with
If
this?
someone, no, I'm not. That's where I draw the line. And I tell you, I've seen two of the worst ventriloquists in the area, and I should say their names,
I think
but
I
I
know
won't
who you
because I
mean.
don't think they're in comedy anymore.
I think I know who you mean.
When you have the microphone to your mouth and you're moving your mouth and the puppet's mouth isn't moving, you're not good at it.
I don't
You're
think
taping yourself, but they don't tape video. They're just doing, oh, I sound great.
I don't think you have to call them out. That's a very small community.
Yes, they know who they are.
And then the character, comedian like who's the Jeff the Cable Guy?
Jeff the Cable Guy?
Larry the Cable Guy.
Larry
Yeah,
the Cable
Jeff
Guy.
the Cable Guy.
Jeff,
That's my
his-
cable guy.
That's
That's
his
the
younger
real
brother
cable
who
guy.
took over his job.
Jeff the telephone man.
Hi, I'm Jeff the Cable Guy.
So, like,
I'm
taking
the
on a
Cable
persona,
Guy, and I'm Doug Lynn.
How do you feel about somebody like that takes on a persona throughout their whole
I think a
career?
lot of comics just do that. You don't realize it. I mean, Gilbert Gottfried's a maniac on stage, but off stage he was as quiet as a mouse,
Yeah.
at least when I was around him. And I'm kind of an idiot on stage, but I'm kind of a bigger idiot off stage. So you see the contrast?
Sure, it becomes more
But a lot
like
of people,
acting.
it's a persona or whatever. If that's what's going to get the checks cashed, I'd do it.
Yeah,
Sure.
right. Who
I
wouldn't?
guess.
Yeah.
I guess as long as they're having an okay time doing it, and they're able
I
to
mean,
stick
Larry
with
the
it.
Cable Guy, listen to the sneeze at. That guy's rolling in it, man. He's rolling in it. What a character, And he knew what he was going after, and he got it. So
Sure.
So you have any upcoming shows you'd like to promote to the 11 cities? Upcoming, are you starting a new class anytime soon?
I got a class starting on November 5th, Saturday, November 5th at the Comedy Castle in Royal Oak. Just call there or visit www.comedycastle.com and look for that information when that starts. I have a bunch of bar gigs coming up. Nothing really worth mentioning right now until I leave here. And I'm doing a VFW
Cool.
Yeah, I've done that.
in Madison Heights, not too far from here.
Do you have a
October 22nd.
Facebook or something people can follow?
I do have a Facebook. I just got on Facebook. Just kidding. I've been on it.
He had a pretty
Bill
funny-
Bushart. You can just look at my
He had
fan
a
page,
funny
Bill
tweet
Bushart.
about
Keep up
the
with my
debate. He said, wow, this debate's been 2 hours and no one's mentioned the Lions win yet.
show. I know it's
He's
important
got
to
some
me.
good ones. That's a Facebook worth joining.
Okay. And you keep your dates and stuff up there, information? on that
I
stuff?
post my dates and let people know what I'm up to.
Good deal.
So
All right, do you have anything to promote, Matt?
Let's see. Probably going to go to the grocery store pretty soon.
Costco?
Not
You might run into
Costco.
Bill.
I figure I'll just keep it
Do you have a
small.
leakage problem as well?
Leakage problem?
Like,
It's not. I don't consider it a problem, Doug.
it's an opportunity.
it's
Yeah.
actually, I consider it a quirk.
How about you, Doug? Where are you going to be?
Right here, baby.
All right.
Go anywhere than the set of Comedy Crash Landing And remember, any landing you can walk away from is a good one. Thank you and good night.